Okay, so now this is my final review of the Nikon D700. I've had it for the full weekend now and I've given it a good going through. I've had it for a full wedding and also for a sports event today. So today I was doing a thing called the Rat Race, which you'll see a video coming up quite soon about that. It's like an urban adventure course thing. And but anyway, so what I think of this camera, the Nikon D700 is a pretty awesome camera. When I was doing the initial ISO reviews, I thought, yeah, okay, its ISO is a bit better than the D300. But when I took it out on the wedding, it ended up being pretty bad weather. We had to do quite a lot of the shoot inside. It just blew me away. I was really properly impressed, to the point where, like, before I was like, yeah, it's okay. Now I was just like, it is amazing. And so it'd obviously be the same as a D3, but if you're doing weddings and you're doing them inside, or you're just doing anything where it's fairly dark light, you're not afraid to use auto ISO on this. There's so many photos that I took where it was at ISO 4000 or 5000. And the photos are still coming out awesome, even taking them in RAW, where it doesn't add any noise processing or anything. The images were still coming out fantastic, especially with the 50mm lens as well. So its ISO is actually what really makes this camera so much better. Like with the D300, I would never really put that on auto ISO, and if I would put it auto ISO where its maximum is 1600. With this, I had it for the wedding. I said minimum shutter speed of an 80th of a second, maximum ISO is 6400, and it worked a dream, absolutely magically. So I highly recommend this for weddings. The other thing is, it's got a couple other functions which you might not know about. It's got one which is anti-vignetting or vignetting. You know how you get like a darkness around the edge of your image. It has an auto thing where it kind of takes away of that in the JPEG. It also has a thing where it can do automatic DX crop. So automatic becomes a 6 megapixel image. And that's fine with this, like this 18 to 200mm lens. That works, because otherwise you get this kind of funny look around the edge. Which if you look at this picture here you can see when I don't have the lens hood on, it's got just a proper circle, and in this next image you'll see with the lens hood on, it's got this kind of cool little shape around it, which kind of adds to the image in some cases, but it's not really what you're wanting to do, so you're usually cropping within that. But I kind of like that because I pretty much edit all my photos, so I will crop each individual one, so I'm still getting the 12 million pixels amount of detail in the kind of long ways, minus a bit at either side, especially if I'm doing kind of more panoramic shots of people and I don't need the full square. But when I used my Tokina 11 to 16mm, if I just zoomed it into 60mm, it covered the full sensor size anyway. So it was like having a 40mm lens on this, so it works really well. So you don't always have to have it as a cropped sensor if you do it with different lenses, only with these like long zoom ones. So that was another really cool thing. But then today I've been out on this adventure course for about 9 hours, and it's not that great for sports. I tried to do kind of long burst shots, so I could do like stop motion of people on their bikes coming down hills or coming down steps and going dig 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 dig. And within about, I'd say 12 photos, the burst rate really started to slow down. So I took the auto ISO off. I took the auto vignetting thing off. I put it down to large but normal, so I tried to make it as quick as possible, but it didn't take very many photos before it started going slow again, and it wasn't that great. So that's where obviously the D3 comes in handy. But if it was me, I would say save your money on a D3 and get the D300, because that one with its shutter speed, especially when you've got the extra battery pack, you can really go at the 8 frames a second and go on for the full 100 photos without any issue. But with this one, the buffer rate slows down pretty quickly, and that's where the D3 has much kind of more channels for its buffer to go through. So yeah, build quality wise, it was raining on me today, didn't have any worries about water getting in anywhere, and generally the button layout is all absolutely great. I got no problems with that, and if you've got the D300 or the D90 as well, then you can pick this up and you know exactly how to use it straight away, which is a real great benefit. But yeah, other than that, I would say if you're doing weddings, if you're doing events where it's kind of a lot more indoor, this is a phenomenal camera. If you're doing sports, I'd probably hold off, or just get the D300, because I think that one's a sports outdoors, D300, sports indoors where it's dark, D3, weddings, this baby, and you'll be very, very happy with it. I don't think you'd ever moan about having this camera for weddings or indoor stuff. Oh, and one more thing I want to tell you about is the battery life on the D700. If you have a look at the back of this screen here, let's see if you can see this bad boy. So with the extra battery pack in, I managed to get 1,430 photos, and I've still got 2% in it. And on the battery that's already inside it, only 2% was used. I think that was the power that was used while I was getting the other battery pack on, and 15 photos. So that's a huge number of photos, 1,400. And you've got to remember that was quite a lot of the flash used. That was also a whole pile of uploading twice, well, uploading 1,400 photos. Some of them raw, some JPEGs, and taking about a good, probably spent half an hour of uploading. Also, I found that whenever I turned it on, the little LCD screen came on up at the top. So I'd say that's a pretty awesome battery power that you've got. Probably equal to the D300. Maybe not quite the D3, but still, I would never complain about being able to take that many photos on a single battery charge. So that's been 2 days. That's been a wedding and a sports event today on one battery. So keep that in mind as well. Cheers. So, hope that's given you a little bit of a better idea of what to look for, and yeah, hope that helps. Okay, see you later. Bye. I'm tired.